Hello, everyone. I've written you a letter. And like all letters, it begins, Dear you. The last 7, or is it 8 weeks, have been surreal. Not only has time blurred into one long continuum, as the challenges of reorganizing literally everything have taken up most of every day, but there has also been an air of unreality, as the sun has shone and the sky has been blue, and it seems almost inconceivable that everything has been brought to a halt by an invisible virus. I thought I was managing rather well until last week, when I suddenly started to feel very tired and a bit gloomy. I know what the trigger was. You may not know, but as well as being Vice Dean for Education, I am still working as an obstetrician. And during the pandemic, with the support of the faculty, I have increased my time in the NHS. During one of my recent clinics, I met with a patient who has lost their mother and their father to COVID. Furthermore, they had been unable to spend time with their parents at the end, as the hospital near where they lived had been closed to visitors. My patient was completely traumatized by this experience. She'd been particularly close to her mother, who had been so excited about the arrival of her first grandchild. Of course, I knew that this was happening all over the UK. I have been working in a hospital for the last 7 weeks, for goodness sake, but there was something about the proximity of her sadness and grief that made the enormity of what is happening feel very real indeed. It also made real the importance of the critical work that is going on within the Faculty of Medicine. It is quite literally a matter of life and death that the virus is understood, that it can be tested for, and that someday soon a vaccine will be created. Furthermore, it is critical to the national interest that the young people who will one day become the scientists and clinicians that will care for us and find cures for future pandemics need to be educated. The faculty is under considerable strain. The effect of the pandemic has not been kind to our finances, and it has been extremely challenging to keep things going. But on this VE Day, the words of Winston Churchill seem weirdly apposite for this moment in our story. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat, and victory. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of terror, victory however long and hard the road may be. On Wednesday, my mood lifted, and it did so in the most unlikely place. It lifted during a Zoom meeting about PhD students with a number of my fellow Vice Deans and members of Registry. It wasn't a particularly scintillating meeting, and I did not agree with everyone, and I'm sure they did not always agree with me. However, it was as clear as day that everyone in that room had only one interest, and that was the best way to help our PhD students through this period of disruption. As a faculty, we do not always get things right, and I know that many of our students have at some point in the last 7 weeks been angry or disappointed or a mixture of both when they have disagreed with our choices or when things have not entirely gone to plan. I suspect that for a few students, the list of our failings feels rather long. However, there are many things that we have, in my view, got right. We have always tried to listen. We have accepted criticism. We've worked hard to be inventive in our solutions and always tried to put the long-term interests of our students at the heart of our decision-making. Our teachers, scientists, and professional services staff care very deeply about what they are doing, and they are committed to the futures of the students for whom we all have a responsibility. This thought lifted my gloom and put me at my ease. It also reminded me of the motto of a very old friend of mine, Pax inter spinas, which is the Latin for peace amongst the thorns. I very much hope that all of you are finding some peace amongst the thorns of COVID. With every best wish, Martin.